If you're pulling in and you see the line behind us, it should tell you something. There is clearly a line of dozens, if not 100+ vehicles waiting this very moment, not including the ones that have come in here, of families that are looking for the basics, that are looking for food at their table. This is a heartbreaking time that people need to realize that there are so many communities that have been devastated by this pandemic, and it's our obligation to help them as officials, and we're doing that. And I do stress the importance of saying thank you to Senator Schumer. You know what? He has enabled us to feed, by some estimations, over 1 million people in the town of Hempstead alone. We've teamed up with entities like Island Harvest, Long Island Cares, The Inn, where we've serviced over 1 million meals to residents this year since this pandemic. That should be eye-opening and, you know what, and frightening, and something that every resident needs to recognize out there. Nobody should be waking up without food on the table. And Randy has put together a great program where we're going to be doing distributions like this throughout the town, and we're going to be getting boxes of food to residents. And it's an amazing concept. And this is exactly the important work we've been doing here in the town of Hempstead, because the line speaks for itself. There is a necessity. There is a demand. It's a significant demand. But also on the tail end, sadly, the pandemic and the hunger doesn't end on December 31st. It continues to January 1st. And that's why we need our representatives in Washington, D.C. to get more funds for our residents that we can utilize after December 30th.
Island Harvest is fortunate that this is the second grant that we got from the town of Hempstead in the past couple of months. And as the supervisor had mentioned, the other program is called the Harvest to Home program, where we're delivering food to people's homes. People who are vulnerable, who have been impacted by COVID-19, senior citizens, veterans, people with disabilities, and people who are quarantined to their homes and have no access to getting food for their families. To date, we have distributed through that program well over 166,000 meals to almost 1,200 residents of the town of Hempstead. Today's event is helping 1,000 residents of this community, 1,000 residents who will be pulling up to get this box of food, 35 pounds of food, which we believe will help a family for a week to feed their families.
Whether it's feeding thousands upon thousands of Town of Hempstead residents, whether it's providing testing to those who call America's largest town home, whether it's providing testing to our first responders, police, firemen, those on the front lines, our essential workers, whether it's providing grants to local villages, local fire departments, local police departments. This CARES funding distributed by the town of Hempstead has been used for all the right reasons.
We have the largest township in America, as Councilman D'Esposito said. It's close to 800,000 people, but we're also a caring and compassionate town. And that's demonstrated by the leadership of Supervisor Clavin and my colleagues, who have really taken the mantle with respect to testing, with respect to getting food out to people, with respect to helping our firefighters, as was previously mentioned. But you know what was really the most heartwarming was today driving up here and seeing Randy and her staff and all the people lined up, knowing that they were going to get groceries to get them through another week.
Like I said, today's really, very, very telling. This is an important program we're running here. The line speaks for itself. The necessity is there, but more importantly, you can't get it done without the entity that drives it, that's been doing it all along. Randy, really, I cannot stress to you enough how fortunate the residents of Long Island in general are to have you, your entire board, Stu's hiding back there, and your entire team, all of your workforce. But you've been just doing an amazing job with the great programs you're running in the town. So on behalf of the 700,000 plus residents in the town, the thousands you have fed in this town with your organization alone, we want to say thank you, God bless you, and may 2021 be a year that the demand isn't as high as it is in 2020, because that's a good sign for all of us in 2021. So thank you, Randy, and Island Harvest.